What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Anthony Smith YouTube channel, and I'm really excited. This weekend is my return to the broadcast. It'll be my first event under the Paramount era, and I believe that this is the first Paramount fight night in this new era that we're in right now. The first two events were numbered events. So I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I just got off of a show call. We always do these meetings, kind of the few days leading into the event and kind of get an idea of what's going on and what the shows are going to look like and all that stuff. Super pumped. It's me, Robert Whitaker, and Michael Chiesa, and Megan Olivi is hosting. So that's a lot of fun. I've never worked with Robert Whitaker before, and I'm just excited to go do that. I think the boys and I are going to go get a training session in Friday morning. So it was all good things. But that said, got me very excited about a couple of fights on this card. The entire card is really good. I think it's got a really sneaky good prelim card if you really dig into it. There's some great matchups and some exciting fights. But I just kind of wanted to touch on a few before I start having to get packed and get all my stuff together, travel to Vegas. Then I'll really dig into it and hopefully have an opportunity to bring you guys some more educated takes. So don't take any betting advice from me right now. I'm just going to talk about a couple of these matchups. But the main card opens up with Dustin Jacoby versus Julius Walker. And I'm sure you guys are like, Anthony, what are you talking about? Julius Walker's a newer guy. Dustin Jacoby, unfortunately, is outside the rankings right now. Why are we looking at this fight? This is really interesting to me because Julius Walker spent some time with us at Factory X. As a lot of you may know, Dustin Jacoby and I go way back. Longtime training partners, longtime friends. We really grinded this thing out together for a long time. So first and foremost, Dustin's my age. He's got a lot of fights. He's got a lot of kickboxing experience. He's been doing this a long time. He's one of the most educated strikers that I've ever been around. And man, that he's such a pain in the ass. He's just giving me fits in the gym. So I'm excited to see him fight. But Julius Walker was around for the last couple training camps before I retired. And so these guys are very, very familiar with each other. You know, I haven't been back at Factory X since I retired. I stay in contact with the guys, but I wasn't aware. You know, I know Julius came in and I don't know that I thought he was moving there, but I thought he was going to be around for a little while. Clearly that's not the case because these two guys are fighting. So that's interesting to me because they both know where each other's strengths and weaknesses are. I know exactly where those strengths and weaknesses are, but I don't want to be the guy that's, I guess, talking about what's happening in the gym. But Julius Walker's a really, really young, strong athlete. He's just an athletic specimen. For his size, he moves really well. He learns really fast. So I'm positive that since he separated from Factory X, that he's changed a lot of things. He's added to his game. He's got a lot of room for growth. He is green in a lot of areas. But where he maybe lacks in maybe some of his experience, he absolutely makes up for. And just his good old-fashioned toughness and just his absolute athletic ability it's a skill set and something that needs to be adjusted for all on its own, aside from the things that he does do well in the octagon. You know what you're getting with Dustin Jacoby. He's a world-class striker, incredible cardio. He moves his feet well. He fights well out of both stances. I'm not telling you guys any secrets that you don't know already, but that is interesting to me. I'm curious to see the dynamic. You know, we're just being honest. Julius Walker spent a lot of time, enough time in the hands of Mark Montoya, who's an absolute wizard in terms of game planning and figuring people out. And I don't know that I would want to stand across the octagon with Mark Montoya in my opponent's corner with him knowing so much about me. That would be a very uncomfortable spot for me to be. Jalentin Almeida taking a short notice fight, being ranked number 6 in the world at heavyweight against a really tough but unranked opponent is interesting to me. And I really want to know the whys. It's a tough fight. He is unranked, so there's a lot of risk there. Part of me wonders, did his camp see something that they really like in this fight, and it's an opportunity for him to get back on the horse and just start a run and like, what are we seeing here? You know, there is a chance that as a guy that's near the top 5, you don't get a whole lot of opportunities to fight down and fight outside of the rankings. So maybe they're looking at this as an unranked opponent, an opportunity to walk down the ladder a little bit and get some more reps. Because if we're just being honest, as great of a jiu-jitsu guy and grappler as he is, his skill set is very limited. He doesn't necessarily have the wrestling chops to take down every single heavyweight in the division easily. That's just not his game. He doesn't have I'm not saying he doesn't have the skills and abilities and the technique to be successful on his feet, but he absolutely doesn't have the confidence. And if you're going to be a striker or spend any time striking in the heavyweight division in the UFC, you have to be confident. He's just not. So that is interesting to me that he's taking such a large risk. But I think what he does need is he needs more time in there and needs more kind of high level reps. And maybe this is an opportunity for him to do that. And maybe they're looking at it as, maybe it's a lesser ranked opponent, which maybe to them equals easier. I don't think it's that simple. We're going to dig into that one more a little bit later, but that is interesting to me. Oleksiejczuk versus Marc-Andre Barriault. That's just a fun fight. I like both these guys' mentalities. We can nitpick their game and talk about the X's and the O's, what they do well, what they don't do well. But I just think it's a fun fight. You got, I think Oleksiejczuk is still with the fighting nerds, so I think that's interesting. I think that they've done a lot of work with him. He's always been a really tough, really technical striker, but I don't know that he always necessarily had, a hard and fast game plan that he was going to stick to. So I think that that's going to be really good for him long term. I think we look back in a couple years, I think that's going to be one of those turning points of his career. And Marc-Andre Barriault is just that guy just likes to fight. He's not even a guy that I ever have really broke down his skill set and really nitpicked it and paid attention to the small little nuances in his game, because I don't know that he does. He just fights, and he fights on instinct a lot. And that's something that you can't really teach. He's going to win some, he's going to lose some, and that's just who he is. But we can't discredit the excitement, his willingness to get in there, his unwillingness to take backward steps. He will absolutely step into a fire. And I think the sport is better for guys like him around. I really do. Those kind of just those good old fashioned tough guys. There's not that many of those guys left. So I appreciate him. I appreciate his game. I love watching him fight. You always know that when he's in a fight or he's on a card, that it's going to be a good one. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. A lot of times I don't spend too much time nitpicking him, and I'm not going to do it on the broadcast, because you know what you're getting. He's going to go in there and fight, and he's going to put his neck on the line to land a big shot. And sometimes I don't know that we do a good enough job of appreciating those types of guys that we do have around, and girls. There's a lot of female fighters that are like that as well. So I just want to continue to keep appreciating that guy. Amir Albazi and Horiguchi. I am such a Horiguchi fan. I think the grappling potential in this fight, although for maybe some of the more casual kind of flipping through the channels fans, maybe it's not going to be the most exciting thing in the world. But if you really are into grappling, you're into jiu-jitsu, and you're into just really high level guys that mix the martial arts very, very well, because they're both incredible strikers. They just do kind of tailor their game around getting to those grappling exchanges. This is going to be a fight you're going to want to tune into. Can't wait to get into the X's and the O's of this and really dig in and see, see where the holes are, see where the opportunities for each guy are going to be. That's going to be exciting. And then the main event is an absolute barn burner. Mario Bautista versus Vinicius. I was there live when Oliveira hit Sopai with that flying knee. It was like, 15 feet from where it happened at. One of the nastiest knockouts I've ever seen in person. That kid is just dynamic. The aggression, the creativity, the things that he comes up with in his head. Sopai had some success earlier in that fight, and Oliveira just never stops. He just kind of keeps this steady pressure on people that isn't big and flashy, and sometimes it's even hard to notice, but it's just these subtle forward steps. It's the mental pressure. He's just constantly got almost like a forearm on your neck all the time. And it's not always choking you, but it's enough pressure that it's uncomfortable. That over the entirety of a fight absolutely gasses people, and stress and nerves and kind of that ability to not just take a breath and get a second and reset. He doesn't allow people to do that. That stress alone really breaks people. So, and Bautista, man, this guy, I interviewed him not that long ago, and I was so impressed with his mindset and just kind of who he is as a person. He's just a dad. He's a husband. He doesn't have a whole lot of hobbies. He doesn't do a lot other than this fighting thing. He was just a really, really humble guy. And I think that if any of you had an opportunity, whatever you think about his fight with Aldo, whatever you think about a couple of those performances that maybe weren't the most barn-burning performances, I think if a lot of you had an opportunity to sit down and talk to him, I think you would enjoy yourself. I don't know that matters to you guys, but it does to me. I did enjoy our conversation, and I've enjoyed watching him fight. I think that his boxing is extremely underrated. He's a kick-ass wrestler. He's got great pressure from the top. His submission defense is underrated, and I honestly think that he underrates his ability to defend submissions and play that game. But the man can stick to a game plan. And I know that pisses some of you guys off, but I have felt bad for that guy in the past because I think he is one of the most skilled guys in the division. And I think sometimes the shoe just falls and it doesn't always fall in your favor. And there's so many ways to lose. There's so many other good athletes in this division. I love that there's a bantamweight fight headlining one of these cards. I think that they deserve it. I think that this division itself is on the rise. So there's a couple of those fights. We're going to dig into those in the next couple days. I know I keep saying this. I'm going to do a better job of getting these videos out to you guys. But I'm excited to get to Vegas. I'm excited to sit down and really break this entire card down. And we'll figure out what we think is going to happen in some of these fights. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.